Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into something that shapes literally everything we do: the invisible helpers guiding our world, rules and laws. You know, have you ever actually stopped and wondered what life would be like if there were zero rules? Sure, it sounds kind of fun for about 5 minutes. But today, we're going to look closely at our source material to see why these invisible helpers are absolutely crucial to keeping our everyday lives running smoothly. Picture this. You sit down to play a board game with a friend. You agree on the game, you read the instructions, and boom, you start playing. But then, right in the middle of a turn, your friend just completely changes the rules on you. How frustrating is that? I mean, would you even want to keep playing? Probably not. And that's exactly why rules and laws do the heavy lifting in our society. They keep us safe, they help us get along, and they make sure things stay fair for the whole shebang. Section 1. A world without rules and why we actually need guides. Section 2. Rules versus laws. What is the difference? Okay, let's dive into this. First up, what exactly is a law? Basically, a law is a public guideline created by the government that absolutely everyone in the land has to follow. Elected officials vote on what's best for the public, and then those laws are officially carried out and enforced. So, depending on where you live, you have these laws of the land. And if you ignore them, well, there are real consequences. Take littering, for example. If you break a littering law, you might get slapped with a hefty fine. But the bigger picture here is that breaking that law actually causes pollution, which hurts the whole community. On the flip side, a rule is a guideline for behavior that you're supposed to follow in specific places or situations. Now, just like laws, breaking rules definitely has consequences. Think about it. If there's a rule in your house against throwing a baseball inside, and you decide to just go for it anyway, your immediate consequence is probably going to be a shattered window or a broken lamp. Not great. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is comparing where these guidelines actually apply. It's like a sliding scale. Rules are typically for smaller groups. We're talking families, schools, your weekend sports team, or that board game we mentioned. But laws, they operate on a massive scale. They cover entire communities, cities, states, and whole countries. They're crafted by local, state, and federal governments to protect everyone, no matter the size of the community. Section 3. Who makes and enforces them? The people in charge. And this brilliantly illustrates the big difference. When it comes to rules, individuals like your parents or teachers make them, and folks like coaches or principals enforce them. But laws, those are voted into existence by the elected government, and here's the key part. They are enforced by police officers, who are out there investigating when a law might be broken, and by judges, who listen to the facts in a courtroom to figure out if a legal violation actually happened. Section 4, let's play rule or law. Get ready to guess! All right, let's test your knowledge with a rapid 3, 2, 1 guessing game. I'm going to read a guideline, and I want you to shout out whether you think it's a rule or a law. Ready? First up. No running in the hall. Think about where you hear this and who is enforcing it. So, rule or law? It's a rule. Awesome job if you got that one at home. You'll usually hear this echoing down a school hallway, and it's enforced by teachers or principals. Okay, next one. You have to be at least 18 years old to vote. Really think about who makes this kind of guideline and who it applies to. Is it a rule or a law? It's a law. Spot on. This is a formal guideline created by the government that applies to the entire country. You guys are doing great. Let's keep this momentum going. All right, here is our final, maybe slightly trickier scenario. No stealing. Think carefully about the consequences for this one. Are we looking at a rule or a law? It's a law. Wow, you absolutely nailed it. Fantastic effort today. Stealing comes with really severe consequences, like having to go before a judge in court, which makes it a strict law of the land. Section 5, making mistakes and what happens when we break them. Look, nobody is perfect, right? We all make mistakes sometimes. But so, the crucial point here is the major difference in consequences. If you break a rule, you might have to miss recess, get grounded, or sit out of a game. It's a bummer, but it helps you learn. But when laws are broken, the consequences are way more severe. As decided by a judge, you could be forced to pay a hefty fine, do community service, or even go to jail. These serious consequences are put in place to help repair the harm done to the community. But I want you to keep this fantastic quote from our source material in mind. Practice makes progress. Learning to follow all these different guidelines, it takes time. It's a skill. being a great community member takes practice. You don't have to be totally perfect right out of the gate, but you do have to be brave enough to say sorry when you mess up and just keep trying your absolute best. Section 6. Around the world and how things actually change. So, just like different teachers have totally different rules for their classrooms, laws can be completely different depending on what country you live in. For example, in the United States, the government voted to pass a law stating the legal voting age is 18. That is the official law of the land there. But if you travel over to Singapore, the legal voting age there is 21. If you have friends or family living in other parts of the world, it's actually super fascinating to compare the laws where you live with the laws where they live. It just goes to show how different communities uniquely choose to govern themselves. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick thought. The next time you're just standing there, waiting at a crosswalk for the light to turn green, remember that the entire purpose of these rules and laws is simply to keep us safe and help us respect one another. Literally, even just waiting for a green light is a powerful way to be a great member of your community. So I'll ask you this: how will you help keep your community safe and respectful today? A massive thank you to everyone for tuning into this explainer today. And a special shout out to Jasmine Gonzalez, Jimena Gutierrez, and Mariangel Guido for their fantastic contributions to our source material. Keep practicing, keep learning, and remember, our invisible helpers only work when we all do our part. Catch you next time.